man.
Play for God's sakes. All right, bro. All right, if we could just no more typing in the chat. Thank you. All right. Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining me for my first speech in my online skills presentation class. What I'm going to be doing here today is answering some interview questions as if I were an interviewee in a job interview. So the first question is, how would your supervisors describe me? Well, my supervisors would describe me as a young, dependent, and hardworking individual that comes ready every single day. When I first began my job search, I was a young green little pea right out of the orchard, and I had no idea what I was doing. And someone took a chance on me, and I was able to prove that I exemplify the skills needed to be a hardworking and efficient worker and that could bring something to the table. Over that time, I've now amassed a resume that shows all of these qualities that I exemplify to the fullest. So to simply answer the question, my supervisors would describe me as young, dependent, and hardworking. The next question is, what was the most difficult work problem or situation you faced, and how did you handle it? Well, this one goes to my time at the Noriega House, which is a wedding venue in Bakersfield, California. I was both a server and a part of the setup and teardown crew, which meant I came in the morning, set up the venue, I then served at the event, and once the event finished, I then tore down the venue afterwards. This story takes place during a wedding that I was serving at. At the wedding, we had two options of food. You could either have a steak plate or a salmon plate. I was serving the mother-in-law of the bride a steak plate, but she had wanted salmon. So her response was to immediately berate me, my managers, and the company as a whole. I was told I was useless. How could I do something like this? How could anyone run a business like this? And in response, I calmly yet firmly told her, ma'am, I'm going to check in the back and make sure that we had your plate marked correctly. I returned, spoke with my superior and the cook who was organizing the orders, and we had found that she had very clearly marked that she had wanted a steak plate. So I calmly returned to the patron. I said, ma'am, I can bring you two options. You can either take the salmon plate, you can either take the steak plate that was just brought here, or you could risk waiting and letting me serve everyone else and banking on the chance that perhaps there's an extra plate of salmon that you would want. She then took the steak plate and the things were resolved calmly. The reason I tell this story is because it shows that when faced in adversity, I'm able to both calmly and respectfully deal with the situation and solve it from there. There's no need to argue or get angry or respond hurtfully. Instead, you choose to inform the patron and work from there. And finally, the third question is, why should we hire you? Well, my dear audience, treating you as if you were the interviewer, I would simply say this: I am not a risk. The entire applicant process, the entire interview process is based on one factor: analyzing the applicantee and seeing if they are going to bring any sort of risk to the company. For those of you that are into automobiles, someone or a car that is brought in and seemingly looks nice but doesn't run is a lemon. And so, to put the analogy into effect, I am not a lemon. In fact, I would be described as one of the most hardworking individuals brought into the company. So, when asked, why should I be hired? It's quite simple. I'm going to be the best, and I am not a risk. Well, thank you so much for listening, and I hope you all have a great day. What was that?
The time was 4 minutes and 6 seconds.
Oh, that was a good one. Thank you, everybody.